Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Happy Monday, everyone. This is the day that the Lord has made. Let's rejoice and let's be glad in it. This is the day that the Lord has made. I'm super excited about today's show. If you are coming on live, I want you to hit that like button, hit that share button, tag Lolly Dolly everybody and let them know. Prophet Ramon, the squad, we are live right here in the beautiful Buckhead community of Atlanta. Today, ladies and gentlemen, is Monday, my favorite work day of the week, April the 11th, 2022. It's Holy Week. It's Holy Week. Yesterday, we just celebrated Palm Sunday. And all week, we celebrate Holy Week, Miracle Week, and I'm believing God for your miracles, your signs and wonders to manifest in your life, in your personal life, in your professional life, in your financial life, in your ministerial life. So if you're coming on, please hit the like button, hit the share button, tag somebody, let them know that we are live on the Ramon Preston Show. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Happy Monday to all of my amazing community members, family members, friends, those of you that are coming on from far and near. Please make sure that you put in the comments what city you're watching your boy from. Who are you representing today while you're watching the Ramon Preston Show? Hit the like button, hit the share button, and you might want to text somebody, tweet somebody. You might want to inbox, DM somebody. You might want to yell in the other room and tell somebody to join the Ramon Preston Show. We're going to have an amazing discussion today. So if you're coming on, please make sure that you do your due diligence. You should already be following me, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, whether it's LinkedIn. You should have already subscribed to my YouTube page. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, follow your boy, support the movement. We're changing and transforming lives. We're helping so many people get to their next level. So welcome to the Ramon Preston Show, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, Ramon Preston, and I have the privilege and the honor every Monday through Friday, 12 o'clock noon Eastern Standard Time, to bring information to you that I know will help you properly start, structure, and scale your businesses, even your ministries, your income streams, and wealth building dreams. So if you are an entrepreneur, if you desire to be an entrepreneur, and you know that you need support, you need assistance, you need information on how to properly start your company, how to properly structure your company, how to build an infrastructure with the right systems and processes for your company, how to price your products and services, how to package them, how to see to it that you're able to go into the market and effectively sell your products and services so that you can increase your revenue, you can grow your business, you can be a blessing to your family and to your community. If you have questions on any of those things, the Ramon Preston Show answers a lot of those questions. We share a lot of information with you. And just in case you don't know, this might be your first time watching me, please understand something. Everything that I share with you on this show is a direct extension of my life personally. I just don't share stuff with people that I don't live, that I haven't experienced, or at the very least, if I share something with you that I haven't quite lived, but I am living and experiencing and I'm learning, I'll at least give you that disclaimer so that you can know I'm living it or I'm learning it. But what I share with you about starting and structuring a business that has given me the opportunity to start and structure a successful business, to build $1 million organization, I'm sharing with you the same information. It's my personal blueprint. It's my playbook. So everything that I share with you is an extension of my life, and it's an extension of our organizational enterprise. So whether it's our consulting division, we provide business consulting. Whether it's our coaching division, we provide business coaching. Whether it's our training division, we provide business training, or maybe all of the above. But this information is a direct extension of the main divisions of our company. So we provide these same services, these same products, programs, and the same information to clients who pay us some tens of thousands of dollars to assist them and to provide solutions and support for them. And we have so many students that are in our online training program that get the same information. We have mentoring students, coaching students that are in our programs. We have licensees. So across our entire organization, we've got clients, we've got students, we've got people, real people who have paid real money to be a part of our business community, to learn the things that we're teaching them, and to get the support. So this is a freebie for us to show up every day, Monday through Friday, and give you information that we know can change and transform your life. Which, by the way, if you have been following the Ramon Preston Show, and if you are getting value from the show, and if what I share with you is helping you in your business, please leave a comment. Please give us some feedback and let us know what exactly are you learning the most and what is making the biggest impact in your life. This is one of the reasons why we discuss a lot of things that we discuss, because when we have clients that tell us what we're teaching them in a certain area is working, we lean into that. When we have community members like you, I consider you a part of our business community if you watch the show. So you're part of my community. If there's information that we share with you that you know, this is the game, bruh, what you sharing with me about this, it's making a difference. We want to share more information with you. We want you to be enlightened. We want you to be educated. We want you to be trained. We want you to be successful. So today I'm going to be talking about the three main components to a holding company. The three main components to a holding company. Now, of course, if you have any questions, here's what I want you to do. I want you to drop the questions in the comments. I want you to drop the questions in the comments, because I'm going to share a little bit with you about the three main components to a holding company. Once I'm finished sharing this information with you, I'm going to answer any questions that you have. So you can start dropping those questions in the comments. I'll do my best to scroll back through. My team, they're looking at the comments. So if there's something that I miss, we'll get back to it, or they'll give me the question. And I already have certain questions that I pulled, because I get questions every day, like literally every day, especially on YouTube. Thank y'all so much for your support and for your participation and engagement. But on YouTube, I get so many questions. Every day, people send me questions about business, about holding companies, about tax strategies, about everything that we teach about on a day-to-day basis and how we work with our clients on a day-to-day basis. So if you have any questions, just drop the questions in the comments and I'll get back to it. So I want to talk about the three main components to a holding company. Now again, just in case you haven't really followed me and you don't understand the details of a holding company, this is your parent organization. This is your umbrella organization, okay? So when I'm talking about a holding company, I'm talking about the company that you should use as your parent organization. I'm not talking about your operating entity. So if you follow me enough, you know my philosophy for business is for you to have a holding company and for you to use that holding company as your parent organization, as your umbrella organization, so that it can own your other operating companies, whether it's products you're selling, whether it's services you're providing, or whether it's both. We want your holding company to be the umbrella. We want it to be the parent organization. We want you to position yourself in the marketplace using the holding company and utilizing the concept behind the holding company by building out your organizational enterprise this way. Because guess what? Even if you don't have a holding company, but let's say you have an operating entity and you get successful, you start making millions of dollars. At some point, you're going to speak to somebody like me, a consultant, a coach, some business expert, and they're going to tell you, hey, here's what we need to do. We need to take this multi-million-dollar company you got, and we need to restructure it. And most likely they're going to restructure it by building you a holding company out and dropping all of your assets and all of your business operations under it, thus giving you what I'm talking about you should have at the onset. Now, it doesn't always work that way, because I know a lot of people who have had to get successful first, then they came back to this. But if you can be educated on this stuff, if you can be enlightened about this, and if you can get trained on this, and if you can do it right the first time, why not? A lot of the entrepreneurs that I work with and that we help get this right for them the first time, it frees them up. It helps them to understand how they can get where they want to go. So they're not just stuck knowing where they want to go, but not knowing how to get there. This kind of frees their brain space up. So anyway, we want to talk about the 3 components to a holding company, okay? There are 3 components. So of course, these components can be used for any business, but more specifically, a holding company. And I want to explain to you why these 3 components are so critical to a holding company. I'm gonna give them to you, and then I'm gonna explain to you some of the science, some of the studies, and some of the significance behind these 3 components. So the first component is structure, and I'll talk about each 3. So if you're taking notes, I want you to write these 3 components down. Number 2 is marketing. And number 3 is sales. Now again, there are more components to your holding company than these 3. There are so many other components that have to be integrated into your holding company in order for you to successfully build it out. But science, studies, surveys, statistics, anybody you talk to that's an expert on any of this will probably say the same thing, that these will be by far the 3 main components. Now, let me explain to you why these are the 3 main components: structure, marketing, and sales. We'll start with the first one. Why is structure one of the main components to your holding company? Because you have to build an infrastructure. If you're going to build a framework, if you're going to create all of these divisions and subsidiaries, if you're going to really create something that won't be glitching when you start doing business, you want to make sure that the structure is correct. Me personally, I like to use the S in structure, the M in marketing, and the S to describe what my team and I have put together as the SMS matrix. So there's a teaching that I do for my clients and students on the SMS matrix. So I have a lot of different graphs and visual presentations that I use to explain this SMS matrix, which makes up the 3 main components to a holding company. But for a lack of time and really the ability to explain all of it in a PowerPoint presentation, I'm just kind of walking you through it in a crash course on a show. So the main component will be the structure. So this is going to reflect how you file, how you form your entity. That's easy. You're talking about your EIN number, you're talking about your Secretary of State articles of organization, you're talking about your operating agreement, you're talking about making sure you get your bank account. So that's the structure side of filing and forming, making sure you have your articles of organization correct, making sure you have your EIN, and making sure that you have the language of a holding company into those applications that you fill out. So you want to make sure that it's right. In your operating agreement, you want your operating agreement to reflect what exactly is this LLC designed to do. What is the purpose behind this LLC? It will be that of a holding company, okay? So once you file and form, you have that structure situated. Then a part of your structure, of course, is going to be certain systems. Now, marketing and sales, which are 2 of the main components, they are systems as well. So even though you have other systems that you need to focus on, like operation systems, financial systems, they're not going to be as important as these other two. So once you get your structure, you want to file and form your paperwork, all right? But once you file and form your paperwork, this is why these are the three main components. I want you to stay with me. Once you file and form your paperwork, once you have your EIN number, once you have your articles of organization, once you have your operating agreement, once you have your bank account, okay? What is the next thing that should reflect your structure? What is the next thing that should reflect your structure? Here is the next thing that should reflect your structure. Filtering. I'll just use the F words so it can make sense to you. So you filed and formed. That's structure. Now you need to filter and function. So what exactly are you filtering? Here's what you're filtering. Your ideas. Your ideas need to be filtered into products, services, needs to be priced, packaged, so it could be presented to the marketplace. So this is how your structure should be. A lot of entrepreneurs, and if you're one of them, you know I'm telling the truth. A lot of entrepreneurs, they focus on getting their EIN, operating agreement, articles of organization, bank account. They file and they form it. Then, instead of them filtering their products and services so that they can function with something that can generate revenue, they get stuck in the minutia, in the middle here. And guess what they start thinking about? They start thinking about, let me go get a line of credit. Let me go get a credit card. Let me go find a building, or let me get my domain name and my website. All that stuff is good. All that stuff plays a role, but nothing should be senior to you filtering your ideas, figuring out what ideas, what core competencies that I have that I can turn into products and services. And are these products and services good enough for me to price them, package them, and I'm not going to use the word market. I'm going to just say present. I'm going to just say present. That's what you should be focusing on doing. So if you're doing all those other things and you don't really have a minimum viable product or service, if you don't have something you can sell today, you need to go back to this, because you really haven't left this aspect of the structure. That's why one of the three main components to a holding company is structure. So when you're structuring your holding company, you should structure it with the mindset that you're going to use your holding company maybe initially to introduce yourself as the owner of this company, as the leader of this organizational enterprise. You're going to introduce yourself to the market using your holding company. Now, if you're not going to introduce yourself to the market using your holding company, you've got to really be strategic and thoughtful about how you're going to introduce yourself to the market. So, for example, if you have another product and service that you're using, and you want to use that product and service to make money, and you go into the market with that product and service, but your holding company is not in the market and you're not presenting this to the market, then you've got some extra hills to climb, because you have to create certain levels of awareness, which brings us to the second main component. So the first main component is structure. There are a lot of different aspects of the structure, but the main aspect of the structure is we got to file and form the paperwork. We want to make sure that this is done right. Once that's done, or while that's being done, we want to focus on what are your ideas that we can turn into products and services. How can we price these and package them so that we can present them? That's going to be the first component to your holding company, okay? Let me keep going because I have questions I need to answer. The second component is marketing. Now, why did I make marketing the second main component? Because if you have products and services that you know are priced right, they're packaged right, and they're good enough to make you money, the next thing you need to do is market yourself. So this is why when I help clients put together their holding companies, and when I walk my mentees through each step of this whole entire business building process, I show them how to use their holding company literally as a sales funnel and as a company pipeline. This is so critical. A lot of business owners miss this critical component because if I have my structure right, so let me give you an example of, I wish I had my diagram to show you, but I don't have my diagram. So let me just kind of paint a picture so you can get an idea of how it is. So my diagram looks similar to this. So this here is like a funnel, right? So you sit at the top. This is going to be your parent organization here. This is the holding company. Do you see how that looks? So you're at the top. This is your holding company. So you filed it, you formed it. You have your EIN number, your articles of organization, your operating agreement, your bank account. Now, if you build this organization as such, you're going to use your holding company to stand on, and it's actually going to be how you introduce yourself to the market. So let's say you have an operating entity here. Let's say you have a company that you have certain products and services that you want to sell. A lot of times when you go to the market as the product guy or as the service gal, when you go to the market like that, you come out of here and you go to the market trying to sell your products, a lot of times your value is diminished for this product and service because all of your competition is doing that. So if you're selling apparel, if you have the service that you're providing, and it could be cleaning services, it could be catering services, it could be shoe shining services, it could be accessories, it could be phones, it could be whatever types of products. But what happens is when you don't have this type of infrastructure, you go into the market and you try to present yourself as the catering person. You try to present yourself as the accessory person. You try to present yourself as the shoe shine person, and you really have a hard time. That's the mountains I'm talking about you have to climb, because you're competing with so many people who are in this space. Where if you structured your holding company to be your main funnel and you built your infrastructure the correct way, your operating company can be owned by your holding company, but instead of going into the market as a shoe shine person, I can present myself as a shoe shine expert. I know everything about the shoe industry. So I don't have to just provide the service of shoe shining. I can actually provide the service of consulting about shoe shining, about what you use on shoes. Now I've elevated my presence and my positioning in the marketplace because I've used this concept to create a funnel that's huge, so that when people start coming into my ecosystem, they're being introduced to what? An expert who happens to own a shoe shining business. I'm telling you, like, if you don't figure this part out and you have a business, you really haven't figured out these main components. The second main component is marketing. Because you can know how to market. You can know how to get attention, but you could be getting the wrong attention. So I'm gonna give you an example. A lot of people who reach out to our company, a lot of people that we do business with, they're reaching out to us and doing business with us for specific reasons. They either want a holding company, they either have a holding company but don't have the right systems and processes. I mean, it's just a few things that I know when people reach out to us, what they're looking for. They're not looking for all the other stuff that other people are doing, because they know I positioned myself in the market as someone who provides a certain service to a certain segment of people who need certain things done. And most likely it's either help starting their holding companies or their operating entities, or it's that and structuring them with the right systems, understanding the concept, getting educated on these things so that they can build a sustainable, legitimate, successful business. But all that other stuff, I'm not competing with the market and people who are doing those things. As a matter of fact, there are a lot of coaches and consultants that might not even be competing with me, and I ain't even competing with them, because we doing our own thing, and there may be some areas that they specialize in that I don't. But it's not going to change the fact that my marketing has to be one of my main components, because I can't make a sale. So if I have my structure built correctly, and now my marketing is going to be what I use to get the attention. But what am I getting attention for? I'm getting attention for the perfect client who fits the profile to purchase the products and services that I priced, I package, and that I'm presenting. So if you're listening to me right now, you watching me, and I'm talking about holding companies, I'm talking about structures, I'm talking about certain systems and processes, like a lot of the nuts and bolts of your business, whether you have a business or not. If what I'm saying is resonating with you, even if you don't purchase anything from me, at least you can leave knowing, oh, he's talking about what I'm talking about. He's talking about what I know I need. That's the missing link. Almost every client that I come into contact with, that we do business with, if I ask them questions after we connect and start doing business together relating to, how did you find us? What resonated with you? What got your attention? What made you make the final decision? They almost always say, when you started talking about this, I knew you knew what you was talking about. When you used that word and said that, I knew you was talking about. And that's what I was missing. Or they may say, I was Googling, I was searching on YouTube, I was looking for information, and then when I ran across your page and started listening to 2 or 3 or 5 or 6 or 10 or 20 or 60 or 70 of your videos, I realized that, man, this guy knows what he's talking about. He understands it. He gets what I get. And that's how we end up getting a relationship. But guess what? That marketing is directly connected to how I structure my business. If I didn't structure my business like that, my marketing would be affected. Because you're marketing to get attention, you're marketing to get leads, you're marketing to bring people into your ecosystem so that you can even qualify them for whatever products and services you have. Your marketing is going to be connected to your structure. So that's why marketing is, ladies and gentlemen, the second main component to a holding company. All right, I hope you got your questions ready, because I have a few questions I'm going to answer. And then if you have any questions on the live, drop your questions in the comments. Number 3, the third component is sales. Why is this important? Because if you have your structure, right, you have your structure. You have your products and your services, you have them priced right, packaged right, and now you're ready to go into the market as this expert sitting at the top of the structure of your holding company and your organization. No matter what types of operational companies you have under it, now you're marketing to get attention. And then once you start getting attention and people start coming into your ecosystem, they're actually coming into what you have built out. So your whole organization becomes a funnel. Your whole organization becomes a pipeline. But once you market to get the attention and people start coming in, there needs to be a process, right? Sales process that you're able to walk them through in order to provide your products and services to them. And you want to keep them within this ecosystem so that not only are they benefiting your business, but you're benefiting their business or benefiting their lives with whatever the products and services are. So sales is not just about having the right system, you know, like a CRM. It's okay, because I know a whole lot of people. I work with entrepreneurs and business owners all the time. I know a whole lot of people that got CRMs and they ain't got nothing in them. They ain't got no information, no data, no leads. They ain't got no activity. Ain't nothing going on. You know why? Because they don't have a process. So there's some type of process I need to be able to walk you through and bring you through in order for us to do business together, because it ain't gonna be no relationship between you and nobody else. It ain't gonna be no long-term collaboration or camaraderie or partnerships or support if there's no exchange of money, period. If there's no exchange of money. So that's why those are the three main components to a holding company. All right, so let's answer some questions. If you have any questions, I want you to drop the questions in the comments. Even though I have a few questions, I'm gonna answer at least on the call, on the live right now, because these are a lot of great questions that I've gotten. And so here's a question, one of the common questions that I get with regard to holding companies. Question number one. What's the best state to register a holding company in? So a lot of people ask me that question. What is the best state to register a holding company in? All right, so I'm gonna give you a clear answer. Most holding companies are registered in the state that they primarily operate in. Okay? So whatever state you're in, you can start your holding company in that state. There's nothing wrong with you starting your holding company in that state. I mean, I know there are a lot of other reasons people have, but again, most holding companies are registered in the state that they primarily operate in. Owners who wish to maximize anonymity, because that's the key word for a lot of people. They always using these big words to explain something so simple. But anonymity is one big reason why a lot of people, and again, there are other legal issues that other states are more favorable with, but owners who wish to maximize anonymity typically elect to register their holding companies in states like Wyoming, Nevada, and Delaware because of the favorable laws that courts use to protect business entities in litigation. So if you were to ask me, what is the best state should I register my holding company in? Well, I'm gonna say you should register in the state that you're in, unless you just have some reason to have or to need or want anonymity. So what does it mean to have anonymity? Well, anonymity is basically you're anonymous. You're anonymous. So let's say I live in Georgia, right? I live in Georgia, so I want anonymity. I don't want nobody to know I'm the owner of that business. I don't want nobody to know that this LLC is owned by me. So I go over here and I start the Wyoming LLC, right? And so now I own the Wyoming LLC, and then I let the Wyoming LLC own the Georgia LLC. So when somebody starts, you know, this is supposed to be like a microscope, you know, when somebody starts looking at who owns that LLC, they're going to find that this LLC is owned by a Wyoming LLC, and you're not really going to be able to find who the owner of the Wyoming LLC is. Now, again, if that's what you want because you are some big time real estate investor, or you just can't be known, you can't be seen, you want to go under the radar, that's cool. But here's what I tell a lot of my clients, because a lot of my clients and students that I talk to about this, they're just going off of what they have listened to some internet guru talk about, like me. So they're listening to somebody like me tell them what to do, and then they're doing it, and they don't even know why they're really doing it. This is one of the reasons why, even when I work with my clients on a consulting level or coaching level, I always help to educate them so that even if you decide to do it a certain way or get somebody to do it for you, you still want to be educated on why are you doing it that way. So for example, my Georgia LLC, my holding company, right, is called Ramon Preston Enterprises. Just show you how ridiculous it is. That's why you just can't just listen to people and think, oh, okay, I'm gonna just do it that way because that's the best way. Well, that might not be the best way for you. So my holding company is called Ramon Preston Enterprises. Now, other than, let's say, any protective orders or somebody not being able to find my name, why do I want anonymity when my name is actually the name of the holding company? Okay, because I want to build a brand. So I want to be the brand ambassador. So I want to do what JCPenney did. I want to do what JP Morgan did. I want to do what Campbell Soup did. I want to do what Sam Walton did. I want to do what a lot of people did with their names, so I don't necessarily need anonymity, even if I want, let's say, certain charging order protections. But if I don't necessarily care about that because I got other angles to take, then it's not going to affect me for having a Georgia LLC, because I want everybody to know my name anyway. So I want people to Google. I want people to do a business search with the Secretary of State to see who is Ramon Preston and if Ramon Preston Enterprises is actually a legitimate LLC. I want them to see that because I want to be known. I want to be noticed. I want attention. It's a part of marketing. That's why marketing is the second of the three main components to my holding company, because I want structure, but I also want marketing and I want sales. I don't want to just have some company that ain't doing nothing, that ain't making no money, or that's not owning anything that's doing something or making money. So anonymity for me is out the window, and it should be for some of y'all. I just talked to some startup entrepreneurs, a couple of them, and they were telling me that they have foreign entities in other states, and they was asking me what my thoughts were, and I was like, are you making any money? Nope, I ain't making no money. Do you want to make money? Yes, I want to make a lot of money. Okay, so do you want to build a brand? Do you want to be known? Do you want to be exposed? Yeah, and yeah. Well, guess what? Start your Georgia LLC, structure it as a holding company, use it for what you're doing as a startup, create some research and development with your ideas, have some products and services, price them, package them, introduce them to the market, position yourself at the top of the mountain of this organizational enterprise so that you can show that you know what you're doing and you're talking the right talk. And guess what? When it's time for you to start separating some of those operations into other entities, you do it. In the meantime, you get some insurance, but at least your name is getting known. At least you're being recognized. Like that's the logic behind this. So that's my answer to that question. Okay. I have another question. Let me see a couple other questions. Another question: how do you license intellectual property? How do you license equipment or other assets? Well, of course, the best way would be to have an attorney in your credibility kit. That's one of the things that I talk about and teach on in my entrepreneurship program. I teach about you having a credibility kit. It goes back to education. The best way would be to have an attorney in your credibility kit who can properly draft the correct documents to ensure that you're legally protected and compliant. So for example, I have a licensing program in my company where I license my intellectual property. I license the assets of my digital products and programs to my licensees, who can then be authorized to go into the market and literally sell my products. And they make 90% of the money. So that means if a licensee is a part of my program, my licensee program, they have authorization to go out there and, let's say, my digital product of my Millionaire Blueprint, we sell it on our website for $1,500. Hundreds of training programs teaching you about financial literacy, real estate investing, goal setting, sales, marketing, teaching you about starting and structuring holding companies. We have tutorials in there. Like, that one program alone can make you a millionaire, literally. It did it for me. I know it works. Like, nobody can convince me that it doesn't work. Anyway, because I don't want to go on this rant. Anyway, that $1,500 program or product can be sold by a licensee. They have the authorization to go into the market to sell that program, and they're going to make $1,350 when they make that sale. Okay? But they have a license to do that. So when you have that type of licensing structure, guess what? You need a lawyer to draft that paperwork. So all the paperwork that I use for my trademarks, for my IP, for any of the assets of my products and services that I know other people can monetize off of and use in their own, and literally build businesses, six-figure businesses around, that paperwork doesn't need to be something I Google. So my point in bringing that up is to answer this question: how do you license IP, intellectual property, equipment, or other assets? The best way would be to get an attorney. Most entrepreneurs can draft documents that specify in detail what the agreement is, what the financial obligation is, including any rights or limitations. They could get it notarized and file it in their corporate records. But what I like to say is, number one, you need an attorney in your credibility kit. Okay? Because when you're building a legacy company through a holding company and through other subsidiaries, you need to pay to play. You can't be cheap and cheesy when it comes to wanting to be a millionaire and wanting to build a legacy of wealth. You got to pay to play. And so if you have a problem paying for a lot of these services that cost a lot of money, then you need to work on your mindset. That's what you need to work on, because it's not a money issue, it's a mindset issue. So when I want something done right, even if I'm educated on it, if I have any level of apprehension, I have self-awareness enough to know I'm not 100% comfortable, I'm gonna run it by a lawyer. But guess what? In order for you to run it by a lawyer, you may need to have that lawyer on a retainer, meaning that you might have to give that lawyer $5,000 or $10,000 and say, hey, I want you to hold this, and I'm gonna just use you when I need you, and I wanna just be able to call you. You're gonna do the same thing with a CPA, a tax strategist, a consultant, coaches. You need these people in your credibility kit. Like, I'm telling you, there was a time I didn't have any of these people in my life. And that was the time that I struggled the most. Think about the irony behind that. The times in my business and in my career, in my entrepreneurial endeavors, that I struggled the most were the times I had nobody that I paid to be in my life. It's crazy. The moment I started paying people to come into my life and to work with me, to help me, to assist me, to give me further direction and instruction on what I was doing, the moment I started realizing, oh shoot, I got to figure something out, because I'm spending a whole lot of money, ain't making none, but I got people to help me figure out how to make it. So if you're not using an attorney to draft up some of these documents, okay, what you need to do, especially when it comes to the licensing part, I'm not doing business with nobody outside of my business, and I don't have an attorney look at that paperwork. Now, here's where I learned this from. My wife and I, we've been in real estate since we've been married. My wife is a licensed real estate agent. She's been for pretty much 20 years. And we've always been a part of the real estate arena. And we're like literally at the infant stages, I could say. We're at the infant stages of venturing into commercial real estate by ourselves. with our own resources without working with someone else or assisting someone else. So it's a very exciting time for us. But I'm bringing that up because when it comes to licensing, when it comes to intellectual properties, when it comes to a lot of these legal things that I'm talking about, we've learned so much in real estate and being in that industry, but one thing we have learned in the industry of real estate is everything needs to be put in writing. Everything needs to be put in writing. Like there are no details in a real estate transaction that are not in writing, that are not signed. Even if there are addendums attached, it's going to be re-signed, it's going to be initialed, like it's going to be lawyers involved. And guess what? We haven't had any legal backlash with any client that we've worked with in real estate, whether they were investors, whether they were landlords, whether they were tenants, whether they were just consumers buying a home, selling a home, leasing a commercial space, buying a commercial space, selling it. We've never had any issues. You know why? Everything is in writing. Everything is in writing. And anytime we've had agents or other people involved that start tripping and acting a fool, guess what we do? We pull out the paperwork. Well, let's look at page 18, Exhibit 4. Page 18, Exhibit 4 says, sir, ma'am, and it's a done deal. So it's all in writing. So my point is, if you are looking to license intellectual property, if you're looking to license equipment or any assets that you have in your holding company that you own, you want to make sure you get a lawyer involved. Point blank period, okay? Or you should at least have a lawyer that you can run it by. Because I've had a lot of things that go on in my business. I'll reach out to my attorney, call them, or I will email them, and within 10 or 20 minutes I'll get a response, and they'll say, you know, just give me a call. I'll call them. Okay, what do you got going on? I got this, that, then the other. I'm thinking about this. Don't make no big deal about it. All you have to do is A, B, and C. Don't worry about it. 2 minutes, we're gone. You see what I mean? Or they may say, you know what? If you're going to do that, you need us to draft that. So just send me over what you want drafted. Give me some details. We'll put the rest together. We'll send it back to you in a couple days. That's the way you want to roll, because that's what's going to get you to the next level and keep you in that next level and moving forward. Now, again, if you are licensing intellectual property from one entity that you own to another entity, you may be able to use the language and draft that document up and maybe just get it notarized or whatever. So that means if you have your holding company here, man, I'm giving y'all some good free game today. Let's say you have your holding company here, right? This is your LLC. This is the main holding company, okay? And let's say if your holding company owns intellectual property. Let's say if your holding company owns trademarks. Let's say if your holding company owns certain logos, certain information. Let's say if it owns certain equipment, whatever the holding company owns. But then you have another operating entity down here. This is a LLC that's doing certain business in the marketplace. But you want this LLC to use the intellectual property from your holding company. You want this LLC to use the trademark. Well, you can always draft up that document and spell out that you are allowing this LLC to license, or you're giving them a license or authorization to use it. So that may be something that you could get the lawyer to do one time and just keep rinsing and repeating it, because it's still owned and controlled by you. But when you start getting other outside people with their own LLCs, you don't want to just be drafting up something and you hope the language is right, and then you realize that they done squandered your business, or they have ruined your reputation, or something has compromised what you're building, and you find yourself in a whole mess, okay? All right, let's see if we can answer one more question. Again, if you have any questions, just drop the question in the comments, or you can always DM me, or just send us a message somewhere, and we'll grab those messages, we'll grab those questions, and we will do our best to answer them. That's one thing I can say. We will definitely answer them. Let's see here. I have so many common questions that people ask about holding companies. I just got to figure out which ones seem to be the best ones for today. Let's see, which one am I going to answer? Let's see here. Okay, this is another good question. What is the best way to invest through a holding company? What is the best way to invest through a holding company? The best and most common way to invest through a holding company is in the form of mergers and acquisitions, as well as in real estate. Both strategies can create exponential growth, but real estate generally provides many more economic and tax advantages. So that was a very common question that I've gotten from a few clients. What is the best way to invest through a holding company? So we're talking about mergers and acquisitions. Let me give an example of what I mean by that. I would say either a merger and acquisition or real estate, which are both to some extent acquisitions. So you have your holding company here, right? Holding company LLC here. And you got a little money in your holding company. And you trying to figure out, where can I invest my money? Well, first of all, there should be some type of operational entity or company that's generating revenue. And if there's no operational entity because you're using your holding company just for the purpose of investing, then you need to find an operation company that has the bones and the skin. It just needs a little nutrients. It needs some vitamins. This is where the M&A is going to come in at, because there may be businesses that you're familiar with that are out there operating, but if you're able to do your due diligence, there may be some opportunities in it. It's very similar to real estate, because in real estate, you're looking for a deal. You're looking for something in this piece of real estate that shows you it can generate revenue, and it can provide cash flow into your holding company. So those would be like the two main ones. Like for me, most of my investing is, I'll just give you mine for example. Like most of the investing that I've done up to this point, I have my holding company, okay? And most of the investing that I've done is in divisions in my company. So I've directly dumped a large portion of my revenue in my divisions. So it could be my consulting division, it could be my coaching division, it could be my training division. Now again, for me, in my company, these are the three main things that we do. We consult, we coach, and we train. So this is going to be business consulting. These are the main areas that we're going to consult. Business is going to be real estate, and it's going to be financial. That's all we do really. So all the money that I got that I'm investing, I haven't taken that money and invested in outside real estate ventures. And here's one of the reasons why. Well, I got so many reasons why. I'm really sharing with you some information to show you how strategic you really have to be. One of the reasons why is because my wife is a real estate agent. So a lot of our sales and purchases, a lot of the income that we get coming in throughout our organization, we get the benefit of having a co-owner of our holding company who is an agent, where she gets a lot of those perks, even from a tax perspective, because we're considered to be in that industry. So we get those perks already. Of course, we don't get a lot of the depreciation. We don't get a lot of the depreciation that you would get if you owned a piece of real estate, but you still got to get a whole lot of perks as a real estate agent. That's just a free footnote. But if we invested in real estate at the times that we were building our business to make it a $1 million company, right? That money would have been secured in real estate, but it would have slowed our growth down, because even though this real estate investing in property would have created drips of cash flow and given us some depreciation, but it would have slowed the recycling of that cash flow up. So what we did was we just created this recycling where we lived on very little. We didn't change our lifestyle. And we're still like that. It's not like my wife and I, we don't live like where we actually are. So you would really have to like nitpick and know us personally to know where we are financially, because we're not living like that. We're not gonna live like we're somewhere we're not. So we live way beneath our means. And this is the game, because we're recycling back into this ecosystem. Now, because we've created such momentum, and creating this momentum, it creates other problems like tax problems. That's another problem you create. So because it creates tax problems, then we started a real estate investment firm, and now we're looking to acquire real estate assets for the depreciation and for the preservation and for the leverage and so many other things. But I'm just showing you, like, the question is, what is the best way to invest through your holding company? Of course, if you can afford to take that cash flow and put it in real estate because you're making new money that's compensating for that, you do that. But you also need to have a strategy to put that money back in your business. So I would always say invest it in you, of course, because ain't nothing moving if you ain't moving. So you need to invest that money into yourself. So how do you invest money in you? Well, you need to be educating yourself. You need to be training. You need a coach. You need a mentor. You need people around you that are like really pulling you and feeding you. And it's going to cost you money to have all that, period. Then you invest in your business. You invest in your business. Because if your business makes $1 and you spending personally $1 because you want to go out to eat, or you want to go buy a Bally belt or some Bally shoes, I mean, come on. Your business is going to fail, and you are too, because you've already failed. So you want to invest in you, you want to invest in your business. Of course, if there are other businesses, that you can find that have the potential to lift your business because it flows in sync with what you're doing, then that merger or that acquisition can play an important role. And then at some point, you definitely want to make sure you're tying some of that money to real estate. All right, let's see. I think we have another question on one of our platforms that I want to go ahead and answer before we go. Let's see here. Must you have a registered DBA to start a division of your umbrella company? Nope. The question is, must you have a registered DBA to start a division of your umbrella company? At least to my knowledge, you don't. I mean, I've talked to attorneys and tax strategists, unless they're just goofy and they don't know what they're talking about. No, it's a department. So it's a department in your business. It's just a department. So you're not like when you walk into Kroger or when you walk into Publix and you go to the meat department, does Publix have to register the meat department as a division? Does Publix have to say, oh, we're Publix doing business as the meat department? Or when you go into Walmart, we're Walmart doing business as the potato chip aisle. These are just departments or auxiliaries. So depending on the volatility of it now, so I can't really speak to what type of DBA you're referring to, but traditionally when we think of DBA, we're just thinking about registering paperwork with the state or with the city or whatever. So I don't know what your state and local laws are. I can't speak to the legal side of that. All I'm saying is if there's something that I'm doing in my business that can generate income and I tie that into my company as a department, it doesn't necessarily mean that I have to go and refile new paperwork or something just because it's something else that I'm doing. It's a new product, a new program, a new idea, or I'm doing research and development on it. So again, don't quote me on it. It would definitely be better to talk to an attorney or somebody who knows that stuff. I don't know that. I'm just like you. When I have questions like that, I'm gonna call a lawyer and be like, hey, I got this great idea. Okay, what's the idea, Mr. Preston? The idea is A, B, and C. Mr. Preston, you can't do that. Or you can do that, but here's how you do it. You have to register that, or you don't have to register that. So to my knowledge, some of the things that I'm talking about that I do, they don't have to be registered like that, okay? Is it a good strategy to place affiliate marketing as a division? Yeah, I think it would be a great idea to place affiliate marketing as a division. And here's one of the reasons why. I do this to everybody that I talk to. When I talk affiliate marketing, it's not network marketing, but I just want to use that as an example. Okay, so when I have a network marketer, that I'm consulting as a client, this network marketer has their IBO, their independent business owner, or whatever they call themselves, right? But most of the time, they are 1099. So affiliate marketing is similar to that. Affiliate marketing is similar. It's not the same, but it is similar, maybe from a 1099 perspective, okay? And if I'm not correct, you could quote me on it, but I think I'm almost right. A network marketer, like an affiliate marketer, could be on a 1099. So that means if you're generating leads and conversions and sales, you're going to get a drip. You're going to get a commission from whatever sales you push to that item. It could be drop shipping or something like that, and you're just getting your little links and you're making your little money every time somebody buys something, okay? Well, your 1099 as a marketer, network marketer, or affiliate marketer in most cases, your 1099 is associated to your social security number. Right? So what I like to do is I like to bring the network marketer over here and put them not under the umbrella of their top line, because they're in somebody's down line. I don't want to put them under the banner of somebody else's business, even though I understand it from a relationship perspective. But when it comes to the business, I want to move them just from a direct sales agent or a sales manager with another job. I want to move them from that, and I want to transition them to be a real business owner, and they have their LLC. They can build their business, they can build their brand, and they can be the brand ambassador of their company, and one of their divisions is these products and services or these affiliations. So they can have one affiliation, they can have 100 affiliations, but they're just all divisions because they can be consistent with this. Because this can get convoluted, especially if you get bored and you're tired of doing it, or you're not making no money, or the network marketing company changes their philosophy and their views and their products and services, and you like, man, I'm lost, because you don't have no personal identity as a business owner. We want to move you from just an agent or manager into a brand ambassador. So yes, I would definitely make that a division. So ladies and gentlemen, that concludes our show for today. If you enjoyed what you heard, if you know we're bringing value to you, number one, subscribe to my YouTube, follow me on LinkedIn, Instagram, and Facebook, everywhere at Ramon Preston, okay? That's what I need you to do first. And then I want you to consider joining our mentorship program. If you could use 1 year being mentored by me, being educated, being trained, being coached, being consulted, and being a part of an exclusive community to receive weekly coaching calls, one-on-one coaching sessions, free access to our online training program for business and finance, as well as getting access to our quarterly workshops, our masterminds, and all of the events that we host for our mentorship members, I want you to really consider joining and being a part of our Millionaire Mentorship Program. We have a 1-year accelerated business coaching and consulting program. So if you're interested in it, all you have to do is text the word millionaire. I always give you this offer because, you know, sometimes I offer things and then before you know it, the program no longer exists and I move on to something different, and a lot of people come back around and say, wow, what happened to this program when you were offering such amazing services? The program is gone. You know, we moved on from it. But you can text millionaire to 404-478-7213. It would be best for you to text millionaire to this number so we can call you back. We'll take, either way, whether you purchase a product, a program or not, we'll take about 10 to 15 minutes and provide for you a complimentary consultation. And during that consultation, we're just going to ask you a few questions. We will assess your personal, your professional, and your financial goals. And we will show you how we can assist you in reaching those goals and direct you to what programs we have that best fit your criteria. If our mentorship program does not fit your criteria, because you may not need to be coached for a year, or you may not need to be a part of an exclusive community to get weekly coaching calls and one-on-one coaching sessions, we have an online training program that provides the virtual version of what we provide in our coaching and consulting. That program is called our Millionaire Blueprint. So of course, it's a fraction of the price of our mentorship, but it just depends on where you are. We have a lot of clients who join our virtual program. They start training, and within a few months, they reach back out to us and say, I love the virtual training. I'm learning a lot, but I don't want to just be a do-it-yourselfer. I need personal coaching. I need help. I have too many questions. I'm glitching in my business and I need to figure out how to get through it. And they move up. So we're always open to move you up if you joined our virtual program. But again, if you reach out to us, text millionaire to 404-478-7213. We'll take a few minutes, provide some complimentary consultation to you to help you see the bigger picture of what you want to do and what it will take for you to actually get it done. You can also visit RamonPreston.com. All you have to do is go to my website. Everything that we provide, you can find at RamonPreston.com, okay? Everything that we provide, you can find at RamonPreston.com. All right, RamonPreston.com, RamonePreston. Matter of fact, let me pull it up real quick just to show you. If you are on a mobile device, or if you're on a laptop or a computer, whatever type of device you're using, all you have to do is go to RamonPreston.com, and if we can get it to pull up. You know what? I think yesterday I was having some issues with the internet as well. So this is how it will look, our main website from a mobile device. But if you click the menu here, you'll see we have a link to our coaching program. You'll find out everything that you get in our program. We show you all the benefits, the prices. We're open, we're transparent. We have consulting services. So we provide business consulting even if you don't want coaching. And the difference is the coaching is 1 year. We give you enough time to work with you and to mentor you. The consulting is really more for people who don't necessarily need to be coached. You may already have some momentum in your business, but you just need structures, you need some systems and processes. And so you just need a professional team to help put those pieces of the puzzle together with you. We have training. You can see our training programs. We have a licensing program. We have a certification program for coaches and consultants. We train coaches and consultants how to do what we do. We have a millionaire group program. This is for churches and nonprofits. So if you're looking for your church, or if there's a church that you know that really needs to introduce to their congregation and their community a business, entrepreneurship, or financial literacy program, we provide deep discounts 2 churches that join our millionaire groups, because we want our churches to be educated. We want our churches to be funded. We want our members of our churches to be financially free, and they need information to do it, and they need groups of people who can keep them encouraged. That's why we created our millionaire groups. Of course, we have our real estate investment company and so many other programs. All you have to do is go to RamonPreston.com and you will find every program, literally every program that we offer, you'll find a page to or a link to. And if you have any questions, all you have to do is reach out to us. Here's the number, 404-478-7213. Here's the website, RamonPreston.com. If you text, or when you text the word millionaire, we will receive your text today and reach back out to you within a few minutes so that we can provide that free business consultation to you. All right? I appreciate all of you. Here's the last question. By the way, thank all of you for your questions. How do we keep track and organize cash flow within the different divisions in a holding company? Oh my God, I got to get off this is going to be a long answer, but I'll give you a little bit of it here. How do we keep track and organize cash flow within different divisions in a holding company? That's actually something you have to configure within QuickBooks. So if you have a QuickBooks account, that's what the question is. Raymond is asking me, how do we keep track and organize cash flow within the different divisions of a holding company? So you're definitely going to need a QuickBooks account. I love QuickBooks, so I'm an ambassador for QuickBooks. So if you would like a discount on your QuickBooks subscription, just reach out to us and we'll send you a link. We could get you up to 55% off, at least for the first 90 days of your subscription. But QuickBooks, you're going to need it. And you're going to need the version of QuickBooks that gives you access to what they call classes. Your classes are actually going to be your divisions. So when you build your QuickBooks out, or when you configure your QuickBooks, you're going to have classes. So you're going to have classes. It's going to be division number 1, division number 2, division, let's just say, for example, division 3. You may have subsidiary 1, subsidiary 2, and subsidiary 3. And then you may just have your general, your general ledger of just basic business operations. So your classes, every time there's income coming into your QuickBooks, every time there's an expense that goes out of your QuickBooks, it's going to show up on your transaction board, right? It's going to show up on your transaction board. When it shows up on your transaction board and you click on that transaction, it's going to give you the option to choose what category was that income and what class was that income. When there's an expense that shows up on your transaction board, it's going to give you the option to show what category that expense was and what class. So if this income was division 1, you're going to classify it as division 1. If that expense was subsidiary 2, you're going to classify it. If other income was division 3. So when you go back to your QuickBooks reports, when you go to your reports on QuickBooks, you're going to be able to pull up the report for said classes, which internally is a division or subsidiary, and it will show income, it will show expenses, it will literally give you a whole balance sheet for that class. And that's how you'll track it every day, every week, every month, every quarter, and every year. Which, by the way, on Saturday, April the 23rd, I'm going to be hosting right here in Buckhead, in person and virtual, I'm going to be hosting a VIP financial mastermind and workshop. So I'm hosting a workshop Saturday, April 23rd, right here in Buckhead at the Marriott Buckhead Conference Center. So if you would like to participate in it, we have tickets on our website, RamonPreston.com/event. You could go to, and you can actually text VIP and you may qualify. I don't even know if we have any more seats remaining, but we were offering seats to qualified people for free, for a free VIP pass. So if you would like to, you could just text VIP to 444-478-7213. I can't guarantee you that you're going to get a free VIP ticket, because I think we may have given them all away, because we have our mentorship members coming, our coaching members, we have some of our blueprint students that are coming, we have incubator students, licensees. We have a lot of people that are planning on coming to this live event, in person and virtual. So we gave them some free VIP tickets to invite their teams and the families that support them in their businesses. So you can always text VIP to 404-478-7213, or you could just go to RamonPreston.com. But during this financial mastermind and workshop, especially when we get to the workshop portion, we're going to be talking a lot about how to configure your QuickBooks to make it work for you efficiently, so it can almost feel automated. Okay, I manage a lot of QuickBooks accounts. I oversee a lot of them. I have a lot of things going on, and you know, I know it can be very intimidating, very complex, but you got to figure it out. And so I make it real simple for a lot of people to understand it, especially when you're a startup and you're a solopreneur. You really gotta learn it and build a muscle for it. So I walk you through some of the steps, and we really take time, especially people who are in person, because they take their computers out, they sign in, they log in, they create an account, and we show them some of the basic configurations, and we give you a handout. We give you something you could take home with each step on what you need to do while you're configuring it to make it work. So appreciate all of you. Thank all of you so much for being a part of the show today on this beautiful Monday. Again, if you have any questions, drop your questions in the comments. My team and I, we will go back. We will pull those questions, and every day after our main lesson segment, we'll take a few minutes to answer at least 3 or 4 of those questions and any of your live questions. So feel free to reach out to us. There's the number, 404-478-7213. Call it, text VIP if you want to try to get one of those tickets, or text Millionaire so we can give you a free business consultation. We're helping a lot of people over here. We're making millionaires. That's my goal. My goal is to create some millionaires. I'm making millionaires over here. That's all I'm thinking about doing. And I'm doing it. So appreciate all of you. Love you. Have an amazing day. I'll see you tomorrow right here. Same place, same time on the Ramon